どうも。どれにしますか？この依頼を受けますか？いってらっしゃい。
ほいっと狙うは大物じゃ。
始めましょう。お互い以前よりも力をつけているはず。今全力でぶつかったらどうなるかしら。
今回は俺たちがチャレンジャーだけどね。十天衆の面目役所と行こうじゃないか。
畳みかけましょう。
そうね、了解。やるじゃないか。
最後の重殺から逃れられるかしら。
集中した損は怖いよ。さあ、どう対処するのかな。この程度じゃさすがに倒れないか。
お願いします。心強いチームワークですわ。
気持ちいいぐらいにうまくいったの。おりゃいいの。とどめじゃ。敵の裏をいかが。無理をするなよ。遅い。答えねばよ。覚悟せい。見えとるぞ。
おしまいね。どこにいようともミルク。さあ、私の番ね。
頑張って。
響け、殲滅の神楽屋よ。これで終わりにしてあげる。化け物の力味わうといいわ。
次の仕掛けに取り掛かる。何はせんぞ。礼を言わねばね。ありがたい。
出番ですよ。おまけです。皆様、フィナーレまで駆け抜け措置に万能に闇を与えようぞ。ドラゴニアンのお
承知した。
横がはだ
今井じゃ。我が剣より逃れる術はないと知れ。さらばじゃ。
仕掛けますわ。エリアルシンフォニー。極めてケイオスタイド。
その剣のひらめき、その空にさせていただく。
火の貪欲さじゃな。
承知いたしました。
さて。
やった。
守備を固め、
無駄にはせんぞ。は、や、今日、り、実体、猫実点。まだまだ行くよ。
こっちはいつでも。
それじゃ十天衆の力ってやつを
見せてあげるわ。
北斗極雷光。小たくやられたの。しもた。夜としなみには勝てるか。
マジかよ。二人もやられちまった。
こりゃありがたい。
このまま畳みかけましょう。
そうだね。よ。
ご用件はこんな感じです。いってらっしゃい。
うは大物じゃ。
見せてもらいましょう。
だね。
お互い以前よりも力をつけているはず。今全力でぶつかったらどうなるかしら。
今回は俺たちがチャレンジャーだからね。10点集の面目役所と行こうじゃないか。この調子でガンガン切り結ぼうか。
シンク、前のめりになりすぎよ。
おっと、たやすく裁かれるとはね。どういたしまして。
がぜんとして夢から覚めれば。
やりよるの。
やるわね。どこにいようともリルク。もう切ってきた。さあ、私の番ね。
頑張って。
響け、殲滅の神楽屋よ。これで終わりにしてあげる。化け物の力、味わうといいわ。
こっちだ。当たりじゃな。容赦はせん。
みんな気を抜くなよ。
そうだな。
集中は切らさんように。決める。
審判の鐘を響かせよう。
よだるな。合ってんじゃ。奥義万決一戦じゃ。おっと手が滑ったわい。なるねや。
雪撃か。
とどめじゃ。
終わらせる。ひらめけアセンション。ロートをエキソ私に見習わなきゃ。
達者なうちに頑張っとかんとな。
腕の水引き心には止まる。
さて。
感謝するぞ。怖いじゃ。これやらせてもらうぞ。ありがたい。今日リ実体成功実験。いやここだ。
こっちはいつでも。
それじゃ10点集の 力ってやつを
見せてあげるわ。北斗巨
巨来光。
来光。
遅いな。こっちだ。スマートに行こう。小田にはこっちだ。あれじゃわい。ゾクゾクしてきたよ。
押されたいでもまだここからかけるぞ。
いいんだろう。
剣の将来。これでおしまい。さようサンダルフォーさん。
容赦はしない。カタリナ、
この一撃でよだなら
任せておけ。おう、本気一戦。
ひらめけケイオスサイド。お願いバメータ。迷いなき立ち筋、参考にさせてもらいたいものだ。
この行く末が楽しみじゃのう。切り札を最後まで取っておくれ。準備はできてるね。活目せよ、かのせよ。グランス
受けてみろ。
ほいっと油断してたら死ぬよ。ここからは俺のターンだよ。
お手並み拝見ね。
変身よ。今こそ我が剣のもとに集え。まさかこの程度で倒れるとは思っていないけどね。さあ見せてくれ、君たちの力を。シエルミルエスパーダ。
ごめん。
兵器を見せてくれ。これはどう。両目かわいい。
お待たせあれ。
さて、成果はいかほどか。
練習に並び立つものがあなたたちでよかった。
そんなに強いなんてね。教えて。さて
皆さんがゲートの対処に当たる間、各地のラグナリオンには目を光らせておきます。何かあれば僕が対処に当たりますので。
依頼をご覧になります。こちらになります。
Alright, I'll hop on the mic for a bit. This was going to be a no mic stream, but then I realized it's kind of impossible to type and play this game at the same time. This is not a no mic friendly game. This game kind of prevents you from playing without a mic, at least if you're streaming. I mean, you don't really need to talk when playing this game. I mean, the mechanics are pretty complicated, but they're pretty simple to understand after you wipe to them a couple times, but yeah, streaming this without a mic is kind of not great, because you can't pause. One cutscene after another, yeah, I don't like that about this game, and they've really doubled down on it. It gets tiresome extremely quickly. It gets tiresome extremely quickly. They need to not do that. Not have so many freaking cutscenes. I get that they want it to be a big, like, spectacle. The problem is that you're expected to do these, like, countless times. And it's just not fun when they interrupt you so much. I really don't enjoy it. Like, just let me skip them. Make me watch them once, and then just let me skip them. And then, like, make everybody else skip them. So that I could actually play the game and not spend so much time waiting. That's what makes getting a bad team more frustrating, because, like, half the fight is not actually playing. It's watching cutscenes. I really don't know why they doubled down on some of the things that, like, people didn't like about the game. You know, why do you fight Bahamut on the ship again? Like, no one liked that fight. Because, like, 60% of it is not playing the game. That's exactly what people don't like about it. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this again either. We're not even making new bosses anymore. Just recycling the same bosses over and over again. It's like the beginning of this DLC had a lot of new bosses, and now they're just doing G-rank stuff. Same boss, changed up slightly. It's not very interesting. You'd think with 2 years and charging $30 that there'd be, like, more new bosses. I'd rather get annoyed towards a new boss than the same boss I already didn't like. Oh well. Guessing this is the end of the DLC, so I'll try to finish it. If I get a bunch of bad parties, I'm just going to play something else, or just work on some other characters or something. I haven't been feeling that great mentally, so if I get tilted by bad bugs or I perform badly myself, I'm just gonna do something else. I'm not really trying to maul and rage today. We should just have less cutscenes in general. That kind of spectacle interrupting the action works better when it's not a grinding game. They seem to forget that. You know, there's plenty of great boss fights that interrupt you a lot, but you're not meant to fight them like 4 dozen times. There's a difference. It's just like roguelikes. It's just like roguelikes, you know, will have, like, turning invincible and stuff, and, like, it doesn't inherently make a boss fight bad, but if it's something that you're going to fight, like, hundreds of times, you need to not do that, because it gets old extremely quick. I definitely have played some roguelikes, and I'll drop them because they do stuff like that. Let's just make this boss I need to fight like 300 times invincible constantly. Let's not do that. Yeah, they said that they like made it a little easier to get perfect timing coming out of a cutscene, but it's like, why don't you just stop making the cutscenes to begin with? That solves the problem right there. Stop with the cutscenes. They should be limited to like the story mode. The story mode would be a great place to have that kind of spectacle, not stuff like this. Meant to do it like countless times. Kinda doesn't work.
かと見ておれ奥義万月一戦じゃちょっと手が滑ったわい気が抜けファーストゲーム
勝負ってんなら私も負けてられない。
あっち気がいやよし乗った怖いじゃ
踏み込みすぎよ。
いいんじゃねえか。
はい、突撃しよう。敵の裏をかくにはどうするんじゃ。攻め時じゃ。怖いじゃ。とどめじゃ。怖いじゃ。 お前は役立たずだ。少なくとも俺にとっては。
Yeah, they said in the patch notes that they supposedly made it easier to get perfect timings after cutscenes. It's like, why don't you just not have the cutscenes? We gotta stop making bosses with interruptions. If they're designed to be fought multiple times, like, we need to stop doing that as a species. We need to really stop. There are times when it works fine, but I'd argue any type of game like this where you're like intended to repeat content, and it's not like, you know, only speedrunners or content creators are fighting the same bosses over and over. You should just like not do that. Yeah, I feel like it's fine in the campaign. Campaign is fine. Campaign is not like co-op, so... You know, if you want to have long cutscenes to increase the quality of the campaign and make reviewers like it more, hey, I'm all for that. But when I'm doing stuff like this, no. Exactly why I like roguelikes that pull those stunts with turning invincible constantly, like the ones I don't play. Might just get these people again.
俺の生き方は間 間違っていなかったと今はそう思える。まだまだ取り戻さなきゃいけないものも多いが、力で俺はソウを守っていくぞ。バハムント・オルタ。稲妻がごとおう万敵一戦バーストゲイル。流れるような連携だったね。次も頼むぞ天聖剣王。
Alright, now give me that party 2 more times. That same people. Give me those same people again. Give me those same people again. Like, it's actually more than tolerable. Everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. Give me those same people again, please. They need to finish this. Give me those same people. I want to win the party gotcha, like, another 2 times. And I'll be done with this DLC. Please. Don't give me somebody letting their goldfish play, please. Just give me the same people again. 2 more times, that's it. That's all that's needed. Please. This game is really fun when you have a good party, but it's mostly the cutscenes and less like people being bad at the game. The cutscenes make the wiping more frustrating. That's kind of why you should not have so many interruptions when you're gonna do like intentionally difficult content. That's like exactly the problem. Get rid of all that stuff so that it's less frustrating. This is something that like roguelikes have mastered. Platformers as well have gotten rid of all that stuff, but then games like this still have a lot of constant interruptions. And that increases the frustration more than any, you know, lack of skill or, you know, not getting the right party and stuff. It's just like most of the time you're fighting the boss, you're not actually playing the game. You're waiting. Well, let's see. How many more fights are after this? Just tell me. I don't care about spoilers. I've skipped every cutscene. Like, how many more fights are left after this to get Master Cat 40? Is it just this one and the next one? There's 2 more bosses after this? Are you kidding? I just want this to be over. I just want to grind. At least this is an actual new boss. Not just another one recycled. Yeah, I'm kind of ready for this to be over.
吹いているだとすれば小前どもに一体何ができる。
体勢を整えてくれ。大したもんじゃ。ありがたい。とどめじゃ。ここじゃ。甘いのいるぞ。終わりじゃ。
今の連携
まだ手が滑っただけなんじゃが。
措置に暗号の闇を与えるんです。カービンの斧
おうちつかまつる。おう万決一戦。これで決める。
鳥など全て引き抜き世の椅子の足にして使ってくれるわ。
極めてケイオスタイド。
その剣のきらめき参考にさせていただく。びっくりの貪欲さじゃな。
ふざけている。虫けらの分際死ぬ。回避できると思うか。
任せておけ。
全滅させてくれる。所詮は小林の群れ。取るに
やりよるの。
意外としぶといではない。ではこれはどうだ。やはり余が直々に手を下す。小林が調子に乗る。空の底へ叩き落とすのも一興だが、せいぜい足を滑らせぬよう気を配るがいい。
Another cutscene? Really? How many more cutscenes? We just got out of a cutscene. How many more? Stop this shit, seriously. Stop interrupting me. Please don't wipe. I don't want to do this long-ass fight again. What does it want me to do? Just die, dude. Cutscenes are never ending. Like I don't follow what it wants me to do.
ドラゴニアンのお仲間。
まだまだ続くぞ。奥義万血一戦じゃ。ちょっと手が滑ったわよ。
やめて。ケリオスタイム。お願い。ダメだ。もっとそっちの踊りを彼らに見せよう。
伸ばし込み踊り当てまする。
Went through my mirror image. God, how many cutscenes, dude? Stop! Ugh! Why do they make this so aggravating, man? These interruptions. It's like you don't ever get to like actually do these boss fights. It's just waiting. When did like this start to happen in video games? Just waiting constantly, and, like barely even getting to play. This fight would be half the length if he would not do this so much. Just constant. Are you done doing cutscenes now? Oh, great! Fucking do this again, man! Ah, just die, dude! These boss fights are too long. They're like no more than 5 minutes. No cutscenes. You just did this, man. How many times do you get to do it? It's like a big deal when you get a super in this game. They get them like every 2 seconds. It's like late game fights are just not fun. Spend more time watching cutscenes than playing. Well, that's the end of this. Bad party. Some of that was my fault, too. Just give me the same people again. Always gives me the worst players. That's why I hate the fucking cutscenes. They take so much time. It's like minutes of the fight is not even playing the game. I have to stop to yap and pose. Like it's a tokusatsu or something. In tokusatsu, they get to the point quicker. Bosses in this game do like Sailor Moon level magical girl transformations like every minute. It's just in general a lot less frustrating. A lot less frustrating to have difficult bosses when you don't do stuff like that. Just keep it to the point, like actual full gameplay. No waiting. I don't know if I want to do that again. I'd be down for a carry at this point. It just takes way too long. It's like they know how to make a good fight, but they just get... They really rub themselves off on those damn cutscenes. Especially when you, like, get to the end of the fight and there's, like, even more cutscenes. Like, can you stop? Just let me fight the boss. Why is there so much of that shit in the endgame? You think he would take the feedback that no one likes that? You know, you die to like a King of Fighters boss, there's no cutscenes, right? The only interruption is like a super flash. You know, people could sit there and fight those bosses for like an hour. You know why? Because it's easier to get back in. When I get filtered by a bad party or my own lack of skill, I don't want to go back in immediately because like half of the fight is waiting. It's such shitty design. Stop doubling down on stuff like that. I didn't buy a movie, I bought a game. Video games used to be gameplay and not watching movies. Now video games are basically just movies. Slow walk and talk and cutscenes you can't skip. And padding constantly. I don't want to do any more of that. I'm going to get tilted. Especially with Pug RNG. I definitely take some fault for some of those devs. It's not like I was playing perfect, but...
Blue Fantasy Versus.
It's not even those people's faults. If you cut out all that useless waiting, it'd be a lot more fun to go back in. But I've seen that, like, the last couple fights are, like, 20-minute boss fights. And probably, like, half of it is not even playing. I'm not sure how much I care at that point. Somehow we've lost arcade game design philosophy and why it was a good thing. Make something difficult by design, but don't make you wait to get back in. That's why Super Meat Boy was legendary. Edmund McMillan doesn't get enough credit for putting that shit to a stop. It's like, yeah, the game Super Meat Boy is frustrating by design, but like, by the time you process that you died, you've already respawned. It takes like a second. We need to go back to that design. Stop making things frustrating because there's just so much talking and shit you can't skip.
Sorens.
Yeah, that's how I've been handling it, especially because I haven't been feeling very well mentally.
Basaraga.
When I feel I'm getting tilted, I just stop playing. I'll try it again later. I need some cool-offs.
Sorens. Versus.
If they had, like, less health and, like, half the cutscenes, the pacing would be a lot better,
Believe in victory.
and the game would be a lot less frustrating by proxy, but...
Excellent.
Well, a 10-minute boss fight in that game, probably about 4 to 5 minutes of it is cutscenes. Cutscenes in that game and the end game are probably about maybe 30 to 40% of the boss fight. Maybe 20 is probably more accurate. 20 to 40%, I guess it varies. The Seofan and Toyen fight is like half cutscenes. Like, most of it is cutscenes. You get to play every now and then. And it's like a really well-designed boss fight, but then such a big chunk of it is not actually playing. Yeah, I was just using King of Fighters as an example, bro. They knew how to make difficult bullshit boss fights, but you could get back in within seconds, which is part of why these games made money in the arcades. That's exactly one of the reasons why. If every time you knocked, like, Rugal down, Omega Rugal down, he did, like, a 30-second cutscene, nobody would ever want to beat him. Only people who, either have the patience of a saint or they don't value their mental health when playing video games. And I saw this, I know this for a fact, because I did it. I saw other people do it. You just keep putting credits in because you can get back quick. Somehow we've lost that game design philosophy. It's really weird. Yeah, the Relink endgame is definitely best played in doses. Unless you have like a really competent group of people you know personally, be it internet friends or like people in your channel community or IRL people. The fights are pretty difficult and the interruptions just make the pug gotcha even more frustrating. I did a couple bosses earlier and I was starting to get tilted, so I hopped off it. Boss fights can be longer if you're actually doing something most of the time and not waiting. It's interesting because that's like what most people hate. Good example of this, Diablo 4 last season had an issue of this where the Mephisto fight, after you got to the got past the first phase, the phase transition was like a 2-minute unskippable cutscene. So a lot of people didn't want to do it because obviously that game's mechanics are way less robust and well designed as compared to Relink. But you know, you wipe to the second phase, you gotta watch a 2-minute cutscene. It's like, why do you design it like that? That's the kind of thing that increases frustration the most. Some people can like really, you know, they can grind a boss for a really long time and they're having fun. But generally, if there's a lot of waiting to get back to the actual difficult part, that tends to be the kind of stuff that people don't do. I know in this latest Diablo season that just started, they made that cutscene skippable. It's like, do you guys even play your own game? That should be blatantly obvious. That's something you don't do. Whether it's actually a good boss fight or not, I don't really know. But that's like the lamest way to make something annoying. It's not even the boss itself at that point. Took a break to play Black Flag, yeah. Relink, the Relink Endless Ragnarok DLC is a good game. It's a good expansion, but you can definitely get yourself incredibly tilted very quickly, unless you just happen to have a good team to run it with. The I guess it's because the end game is like more difficult than most games that revolve around playing with randoms. Yeah, they need to stop the interruptions. They can keep the boss fights as difficult as they are. They're very well designed boss fights, but...
Battle 2. Engage!
I mean, this is what Souls games popularized, right? The Shrines of Marika, the Shrines in Neo, you know, you're right back to the boss fight. You're right back to the boss fight in like seconds. That's why people can do no damage fights in those games. If it was a bunch of cutscenes and waiting, like Relink, there would be like 90% less of those videos on YouTube. Only the people who have like some kind of superhuman patience would ever do that. You know, those games make it more balanced. You know, the boss fight is frustrating, and difficult by design, but you know, it can be addicting and satisfying to take them down because the whole time you're actually playing. It's definitely not something you can play like all night, unless you have like a really good squad. Playing with pugs, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit like League of Legends. League of Legends is like the most toxic video game ever made, but you can have fun playing with friends, you know. You start trying to get a match and expect performance out of random strangers, that's when the frustration's gonna set in.
Player 1, win. Battle 2.
Okay, you have to explain the FF14 raids. I don't know anything about that game. How is it better than Relink? I am not knowledgeable on these things.
Marvelous.
Just imagine, like, Shin Akuma. Every time you get him to have health, he transforms and it takes like 90 seconds. How many people would do those boss fights? Like, nobody. Shin Akuma can, like, kill you for throwing out a jab. Finally get a hit on him, and he goes into a cutscene and then kills you immediately. So most of the fight, you actually weren't playing the game. You were waiting. Well, stopping when you're frustrating is pretty healthy. Luckily, the game goes out of its way to make you want to Alt F4. It's a very easy game to rage quit. Maybe you don't play perfectly, but you play pretty well. And then you get to let the boss to like 10%, and then everybody dies. And you think about how much of that fight was not actually doing anything, and you just like don't want to play. Pretty good game that teaches you when to stop when you're getting pissed off, compared to like a Souls game where you can do the same boss for like 4 hours and, you know, your performance is getting worse, but you don't want to stop until you beat it. That's the downside. That's the downside to it. Those games are very good about getting you back into the fight quickly, so it gets very addictive. But usually, with like difficult stuff in video games, the first couple attempts are the best. If you keep going, even if you're not getting frustrated, your performance is just going to go down.
Great! 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 Down. Player 1, win.
No, that sounds a lot better than constant interruption.
Great. Great. Excellent.
Well, that was very satisfying after the Relink version. It took like 20 times less. There's like one interruption. No, he got his ass beat. That's why I wanted to switch to this and just go fight him here, and he doesn't have like 40 billion health. And he doesn't stop to do a cutscene like every time he gets to a threshold. Yeah, that was very satisfying. There, sweet revenge. It took like a fraction of the time. Let's see if there's any cool mods. There's supposed to be new crewmate cards in the story, but I don't know where they are. You have to look it up. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm glad I got the review key for Dragon Sword Awakening. Is like that game is a lot less frustrating. It has its faults, and I can't really talk about those until the review embargo is up. But it's been nice. Because I haven't been streaming that much since I got the Dragon Sword Awakening key. And when I get tilted at Relink, I just switch to that, and it's kind of similar type of combat, but way less frustrating. And you can solo the whole game. That helps too. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I really even want to do those endgame fights. They look like everything that I can't stand in video games, which is mostly a legitimate challenge ruined by HP bloat and then constant interruptions. I'm not sure how much I care. It's one of those things where I'm like more than capable of doing it. I mean, you've seen my gameplay. My gameplay isn't bad. It's just I don't really like doing boss fights like that in general, so I'm on the brink of just saying I don't care. Or just like one-shotting them or something. I really don't care at this point. I know doing boss fights like that is just going to get me chrono triggered and tilted, and it's not worth it. The worse my channel does, the less I want to mauled over shit like that, because there's like no payoffs. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to. I'm pretty sure I don't. I've seen the boss fights. They look really annoying and not fun and padded out like crazy for all the reasons I've already mentioned. So, I'm not sure if I care. Kind of getting to the point in my gaming career where it's like, I know that I'm capable of doing stuff like that, but am I going to have fun? I think about that a lot now. Am I actually going to have fun doing it, or am I just going to stress myself out for nothing? And Relink Endgame is very much the latter. It's kind of just like not enjoyable. I hope if they make a Relink 2, they just focus on like the same really good boss design and combat, but then like not have all the things that are wrong with Relink. They need to find a better balance. Maybe I'll just go one-shot the rest of the bosses and be done with it. I'm thinking about it. I'm debating. It doesn't seem like they have a one-shot. That's the only thing I'd want. I don't really want to do those boss fights again. Especially with randoms. I'm looking for a table really quick. Well, when you beat those bosses, there's nothing left of the game anyway. Those bosses are basically just like to challenge your build. There's nothing left of the game, and I wouldn't really count on them adding anything else. I mean, I guess now that it's on Switch 2 and it seems to be doing pretty well, they might end up doing more, but I mean, at that point, you're basically just playing to play. You can get other characters at that point, I guess, but yeah, I don't see any kind of one-shot. I'm kind of over the game at this point. Alright, let's play something else. I don't want to go back into that again. It's a bad idea. How long are the boss fights? Are they like 10, 20 minutes? How much of it is not playing? Probably like half. I've played a number of roguelikes with that issue, like, oh, it makes it so much harder to make them invincible. It's like, no it doesn't. It just makes it more frustrating. It makes me not want to play the game. Don't have a shit boss fight when I need to fight the boss way more times than like a God of War or something. Or Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts has its fair share of shitty bosses like that too, but you're not really intended to fight them like 400 times, because it's not a hunting game. Yeah, that's a hard pass for me, bro. That's a hard pass. I'm not doing that. Especially with randoms. And the bosses like to do some bullshit like right when they're at 10%. So there's a chance of wiping and then you just waste your time. I'm good on that, man. The mental health already hasn't been great to begin with. I think doing that is just gonna mentally damage me. I'll pass. Thanks, but no thanks. I do not want to do that. That's all I needed to hear. How many interruptions are there? How many interruptions? Is it like at 10... Is it 12 minutes of actually playing, or is it mostly watching a movie? Because if it's the latter, I couldn't care less. I'm not putting myself through that torture when I've got difficulties IRL right now. Hard pass. More than happy to just one-shot those bosses and just do, like, challenge stuff on the bosses I actually like. That sounds a lot more fun. Oh, that's actually surprising. That's actually surprising. Maybe they actually did listen. But still, doing that with pubs is frustrating. We take so many things from arcade design, but like, at some point, game devs just kind of forgot that cutscenes and waiting don't really mesh well with trying to make something difficult by design. In fact, they tend to make people not want to do it.
この力を使えばどんな敵でも倒せます。
I'd be willing to, like, do that with you. Because you're somebody I know, and that makes a lot of the frustration go away. Doing those with pugs is just a way to, get pissed off. I don't really need that right now. Life's been very difficult lately. I'm not gonna put myself through that for 48 views. I'm sorry. I'll definitely check out mods. I mean, I like the roguelike mode. The roguelike mode is kind of more my jam anyway. Be fun to, like, take the characters through there with, like, mods and stuff. That sounds a lot more fun than big gimmick boss fights where they get to 5% HP and then they decide to, do some screen-sized hitbox that makes you wipe, so you gotta do 15 minutes again. Alright, I'm just gonna one-shot the rest of the bosses. Let me see. Yeah, they have a damage. The thing about the Conflux Beelzebub is he has a lot less gimmicks. Also, I didn't stream this, but last night at my kitty sitting job, I actually took off. He only got like one cutscene off. The difference between the roguelike Beelzebub and the main game one is that you can freeze him and petrify him and paralyze him, and he can't move. And if you have enough damage, he does like 1 or 2 phase transitions. There's very few cutscenes. There's a pretty big difference. I know that like the attack patterns are different as well, but in the roguelike mode, you can kind of get around the cutscene spam. There's a pretty huge difference. I wish I had recorded it, but basically he like came down and he got frozen and petrified, and then I had that upgrade that made it so if you use both of those status effects on them, they get frozen for twice as long, so it took off like half his health. Let's see if this works. I kind of wasn't really going to make content for this game anyway. I stopped caring when I saw that the people who got review keys got saves, which I'm not complaining. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I actually think that more PR companies should do that, especially if it's a grinding heavy game. Actually giving a save is really cool. It's just that if you didn't get a review key, it kind of wasn't worth... all the preparation wasn't worth it. No amount of preparation could prepare you for the save that they gave you. Like, the save... I don't think it was enough to clear, like, all the content, but, like, most of it. It was enough to show the game. So... I kind of stopped caring at that point. I'm just playing this to play it. No, I welcome it. That should be the standard. You can't expect people who play, like, every single new game to put, like, 100 hours into something like this to make a video. I mean, it's just not realistic.
当面の間は動けんだともあれゼーザにはびこる災いの一つは払われたと見ている帰ろうか
I'm sure there were some people who did the grind legitimately and they made videos that performed well, but they were definitely at a disadvantage. They're definitely at a disadvantage. All that hard work and, you know, if you didn't get a key, you know, you had to work a lot harder.
Hi, こちらになります。この依頼を受けますか？お願いします。
パラダイスロスト狭間を引き裂いてくれ変わり映えのしない顔ぶれで歓迎とは気に食わないのであればお帰り願おうかこの道貴様は招かれざる者なのだから客として来たつもりはないここで全てを終わらせてやる望むところだレスパー
Nope, sorry. Sorry. I can always do these fights later. I'd love to do these fights legit with you. Tonight I do not want to do it. Tonight, no. Not tonight, man. I've had enough cutscenes for today. Play any more video games today, that shit's getting skipped. My patience is wearing thin. That's what's great about hunting games. You just want to cheat past it, you can always do it legit later. I don't want to be pissed off right now. That's why I don't always want to, like, make content for games. Sometimes I just want to use mods and just mess around. I'm not really looking to mold and challenge and everything. Roguelike speedruns seems like something I would like doing. I would probably like doing that, actually. That sounds pretty fun. Like, maxed out speedruns with all the characters. I would like to do that. Doing the boss fights really well is just gonna piss me off. And it's not worth the mental health hit. It's not worth the mental health hit, and it's sure as hell not gonna pay off viewership-wise. Well, that's like the only thing I'm interested in doing with this game right now, in terms of content. I've never really liked doing no damage challenge stuff on like really long, padded out boss fights. Usually when I do that kind of stuff on this channel. They're like short boss fights.
大規模な攻撃に巻き込まれる
I already did this to get the Terminus weapons anyway. I don't know if you guys remember that stream, but I put it on like one-hit kills. I put it on one-hit kills, and then I used the same trainer. I sped the game up like 4 times, and it still took like an hour. That was kind of when I decided I didn't want to make anything for this game. One-shotting the boss and speeding up the game by triple the speed, it still took like over an hour. Like the fastest possible run you can do, maybe outside of a few seconds or frames, it still took an hour at triple speed. I'm like, man, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. Hard pass. Well, the thing with the Terminus farming was I did do it legit for multiple hours. And I got good at it pretty well. I got pretty good at it, but it just wasn't dropping after hours. I'm like, you know what? I've done the fight legit. I'm clearly capable of doing it, but I don't want to do it another 300 times to get this weapon. And that's when I decided to just turn on the cheat. Plus, by that point, I had already kind of decided I wasn't going to make any guides for this game anyway, so... As far as I'm concerned, I spend my own money on it, I can do whatever the hell I want with it. Provided that I'm not, like, making guides and stuff and, like, blatantly cheating. Because that doesn't help anybody, but... I've already committed to not doing that with this game. Well, plenty of other games coming out this year where I will not be using cheats like this, and... you know, putting up normal, legitimate guides, but this is not one of them. I don't like this game enough to do that. Usually with me, if I really like a game, I'll do challenging stuff in it, and I'll make guides, because I organically enjoy it. But if I'm not feeling the game, then I just won't make that kind of stuff at all. Yeah, that's how it should have been from the start. Not doing a mostly scripted boss fight that's like 50% waiting and then like a 5% drop rate. And then even if you got one to drop, it wasn't one that you wanted. That's just begging people to cheat, man, or ask for a carry. Some people asking for a carry is cheating as well. Don't tie endgame weapons and gear to auto-scroller boss fights. Like, just don't do that. People are more willing to do it if it gets to the point quick. Yeah, this game was way too grindy for the lack of content that it had. It felt like it was designed like a gacha game, because gacha games do that because they need you to keep playing, and they need to buy themselves time until they have more content, but that wasn't the case with this game. They added a couple quality of life patches and a handful of bosses, and that was it. So, I don't know why it was designed that way. Now it's kind of just, for the most part, playing the game gets you what you need, and it doesn't feel like too grindy. But I don't know why it was like that in the first place. It was a very bad decision. Oh, I'll do these fights legit later, just not right now. I kind of just want to do roguelike stuff in this game, and that's it. I know trying to get good fights with randoms and the AI with all those cutscenes is just going to make me chrono triggered, so I couldn't care less. Well, see, the thing about streaming, having a channel that's 20 years old, is people can see that I can clearly play games without mods. I don't really get too much shit flung at me for doing stuff like this. I think people know that I have 20 years of evidence before things like Cheat Engine even existed. Like, people can't really come after me. I really don't care. That's what's great about having this channel, even if it doesn't make as much money as it should. Nobody can really talk shit that much, because I have so much stuff on here. Like, literal decades of stuff on here, dating back to, like, the PS2 era. No one really can say much. I'm like, look, I've got me playing PS2 games from, like, 20 years ago. You can't really say that I don't know how to play games. It's just as I get older and my mental health gets worse, I don't have the patience for that shit anymore. Especially with, like, my viewership on my videos plummeting so much because of the algorithm. I know that if I mauled on a boss fight like that, and then get nothing, that, you know, no views and stuff, that I'm just gonna be more likely to not do anything anymore. And just stop entirely. It's less with video games that's making me frustrated, it's more YouTube in general makes me frustrated, and I have a very good, idea of what's worth malding over and what's not, because I've been doing this for so long, and I know that doing the boss fights in this is not worth it. It is legit not worth it. I'm gonna get pissed off and the algorithm's gonna be like, this isn't what you normally upload. So we're only gonna show it to like 100 people. And then I'm just like, not gonna ever play this game again. So, I know better at this point. Sometimes you gotta cut your losses. You know, when I put out, like, that guide for Absalom, I put, like, a lot of effort into that, because I knew that it was going to do well, because A, I had beta access, and B, a lot of people didn't play the game to the extent that I did. I mean, I was a beta tester, so, obviously, I had a lot more time than others. That video got, like, 30k views. If I put that same amount of effort into this, it would probably cap at, like, 1,000 if I'm lucky. It's just not worth it. It's just a lot of frustration getting the good take, and then the algorithm doesn't promote it. I know better. You start to learn, like, what's actually going to do well on here, and you stop bothering with the rest. Like, Dragon Sword Awakening, I know that the stuff I do for that is gonna do way better than this. That's gonna do way better than this. That's why I've been playing that a lot more. Yeah, there's still a lot of grinding to do in the roguelike mode. That sounds more what I'm interested in doing. Well, it's not entirely age. It's easy to pin it on getting older, but the reality is, games go out of their way to waste your time now compared to the stuff that we grew up with. Those games are very to the point and ended quickly. And they didn't have the budget for, like, motion-captured cutscenes and hyper-realistic graphics. They had to compensate with good gameplay, and, you know, space was a problem, too. The space was definitely an issue, too. They didn't have as much space as you do now, so... I think a lot of people do stuff like that. They think that it's, they think that, so I'm getting old, so... That's why I'm getting frustrated. It's like... No, games are designed to pad out as much as possible, because people have gotten obsessed with how long a game is, rather than, like, if the 80 hours you play is actually fun. They're too focused on, is it long? It's like, well, I've played short games for hundreds of hours. There's been games I've played on this channel where I'm like, I roll the credits once and I'm done. I don't want to play it anymore, because most of the game is not actually playing, it's just waiting. Around the mid-2000s, video games started to transition to being, you know, it needs to be long and it needs to be this big spectacle, but, like, the gameplay takes a backseat. So if you grew up with stuff prior to that period, or that era of games, yeah, you're gonna have a lot less patience. I mean, that's kind of just normal. It used to be, the story in video games was like a paragraph at best, and it was usually poorly translated. So, if you were playing for the story, you had way less choices than you do now. But even the games that did have a big emphasis on story, they got the point across a lot quicker. Like, way quicker. Even stuff like FF7, which is very narrative heavy. I mean, I literally just mentioned a modern game example of Diablo 4, where they put an endgame boss, but it had like a 2-minute unskippable cutscene between phases, so having to watch the cutscene and then having the game wipe you, and then having to watch that cutscene again was like actually one of the biggest complaints last season. That was like the biggest thing that people hated. I mean, obviously it's Diablo, so people complain a lot, but like that was like one of the biggest problems. Like, yeah, if you want me to be challenged, let me actually play the game. Don't waste my time. It is good to see people agree. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, make a boss fight that challenges me and gives me friction, but don't waste my time. Don't make me watch a commercial break every time there's a phase transition. I mean, that's not really asking for much. And apparently in this season they let you skip it. It's like, do you guys even play the game? You guys even play your own game? I mean, like, anybody could tell you that's annoying. You could give that boss fight to, like, somebody who doesn't even play video games and they'd be pissed off. You don't need to be a old-ass video game vet like I am to know that that's bad design. Yeah, I thought it was really cool to see people call that shit out, how stupid it is. Yeah, I saw that game that you posted. That game looks really cool. I'll definitely buy that. Haven't been that many good roguelikes lately. Yeah, I saw that cutscene and I'm like, man, anybody who tries to do like videos for that, they probably have the patience of a saint. It's like the length of a commercial break. No thanks, dude. I'm out. It's kind of like when Genshin Impact doesn't let you skip cutscenes, and then Wuthering Waves added it in like the first week when they launched, and that legit gave them more goodwill than actually making a good game. Because like Wuthering Waves was a good game even at launch, but there were a lot of people who switched over from Genshin literally because you could skip the cutscenes. There are a lot of people, I saw it. People are like, oh, you can skip the cutscenes, I actually want to play this. Like, yeah, exactly. Let people engage with your video game in the way that they want. Don't make them watch a movie if they don't want to. They're all paying hard-earned money for this stuff anyway. Do whatever the hell you want with it. As long as it's not like, you know, doing what I'm doing right now on like a competitive game. Like, obviously don't do that, but... Also, the other problem I have with this expansion that's not related to the gameplay is the fact that the new sigils are very boring. They're basically just more damage. And that kind of makes me also not care about playing this legit. It's nice that they have the mastery system, and that's more build-defining, but the sigils are still very boring in this game. There's more build variety than there was in the original version, but, I don't know. The sigils are all just more damage in different flavors, and that doesn't interest me. I tend to be more interested in grinding stuff like that out if it's actually something interesting. It's just more damage cap, which is boring. Give me, like, attack speed or more properties or something. Not just a different flavor of damage. Yeah, that's probably my second biggest disappointment with this. I mean, for a lot of people, that's more than enough. They just want to be stronger, but I like build-defining stuff in ARPGs. If it's just doing 30% more damage, I'm not really interested. But the roguelike mode speedruns are gonna pop off. I'm definitely gonna be playing that roguelike mode a lot. The actual game, nah, I've kind of already given up on that. Yes, exactly. And the new sigils just double down on that. It's just more damage. Well, Monster Hunter is a different problem. Monster Hunter is just... the grind to make a weapon for every monster takes longer than it does to just go full physical and crit, which is how I've always played those games. I played Monster Hunter like that, I played God Eater like that, I played Tokiden like that. I played all those games like that. And it was just because I couldn't be asked to make a weapon for every element. It felt like it was going to make the game slow down to a crawl, which it actually does. This game just doesn't have, like, a lot of interesting build stuff at all. They definitely give you more slots to work with, but... They give you more slots to work with, but you're still going for the same goal. It's just increasing the damage cap, which is boring to me. And I don't like this game's RPG systems enough to bother with that. Especially with Dragon Sword Awakening in like 10 days, and I already got a review key for that, so... That's where my focus is gonna go. And again, that game is not even... The game is not even available to the public, so obviously I have to play that with no mods. There's no, like, dark web cheat engine table for review keys. You can't go get, like, a Dragon Sword Awakening or GTA 6 cheat engine table before it releases. You know, if you get a review key for something, unless you literally make it yourself, which most people don't know how to do, you gotta play it legit. So, I'm more focused on that right now than this. Really gonna recycle this boss for the 3rd time? Ran out of budget. Usually don't get dev mode when you get review keys. Like I said, this game giving you the content creators saves is, pretty rare. Usually if you're a content creator and it's like a grinding heavy game, and you had your own like self-made save, you had a huge advantage over anybody else. But with this game they gave you a save. I guess because even with the grind being reduced in the expansion, it would still take, like, a really long time. So they decided, we're just gonna give you a save. Like, I welcome that. Dynasty Warriors Origins was like that as well. More mastery nodes. Where do I see those? I can't really give any opinions. You're going to have to wait. I was specifically told that I could not give any kind of, I could not give any kind of opinions, so... You're welcome to speculate. I can't say anything, so... Make of that what you will. I can say that I have the game and that I've been playing it, but I can't give any more information than that. But it's coming out in a week and a half. I should have some pretty good stuff out for it. Especially because I'm kind of just speedrunning this, because I'm kind of realizing these bosses are just going to piss me off, and it's not worth the effort. Content creation-wise, it's not worth it. Satisfying after like the 10-minute boss fight. Well, yeah, they said that I could post like minor impressions, but I can't post any screenshots and I can't post any gameplay. I mean, I can say this much. They did a roadmap for it last month, about a month ago, and they said that they're going to be improving the combat, so it's not like they're not listening. Especially because a lot of the people have kind of just been echoing a lot of the things that they didn't like about the demo, so it probably will get fixed. But they've already said that they're gonna add more to it.
はい受け止めいかがでしょうこの依頼を受けますか頑張ってください
I think you can already tell from the demo that Dragon Sword Awakening is a better version of a dead gacha game than that. That much is already obvious. The main difference between solo leveling Overdrive and Dragon Sword is that the solo leveling game is still alive, right? The gacha game still exists. So that's going to directly influence what they put into it. It's really weird that they have an offline version of that game while the gacha is still up. That's really strange. I don't think anyone's ever done that before. But, like, obviously, even if that game had more resources devoted to it, how much can you really add if the gacha game is making, like... I don't know how much money that game makes. I guess it makes a couple $100K a month, or maybe like 1 million or something. It's not like an insane amount, but... You know, it's still making way more than the PC and console version, right? That's going to directly influence what they can add to the game. Whereas Dragon Sword is already a dead gacha game, and they're already adding stuff that wasn't in the existing version, so... I don't know if that's a fair comparison.
こちらですねどうかご無事で
It's kind of like when Mega Man X Dive Offline came out, and then they tried to make another version of the game. They tried to make another gacha version of it, and it shut down like instantly. Because people are like, wait, there's an offline version. You're trying to sell people the same stuff. Apparently that like final version of Mega Man X Dive had like Mihoyo 50-50 pity as well. Like just to rub it in that they really didn't care about their consumers. They wanted to milk them for every cent that they had. Dragon Sword, the gacha game, died extremely quickly, so they won't have the problem that the solo leveling Overdrive team has.
Hi, いかがでしょうはい今すぐ手伝いお願いします
I can't imagine how they decide what can be put in Overdrive when the gacha game still exists.
狭間を引き裂いて変わり映えのしない顔ぶれで歓迎とは気に食わないのであればお帰り願おうかどのみち貴様は招かれざる者なのだから客として来たつもりはないここで全てを終わらせてやる望むところだルシファーお前たちを守ってみせるよ
They also seem to be a lot more receptive to feedback.
何度立ちはだかろうとも俺たちは決してくじけることはない
They ever fix the stats not doing anything? You know, that's a good question. At least the stats work in this game. Overdrive was like, the stats didn't work, and the drop rates were just terrible. The drop rates were far worse than this game. Now, granted, there's also, like, a lot less interruptions in that game compared to this, so... It's kind of a pick-your-poison type thing. But the drop rates were terrible. This game doesn't respect your time in a different way. It's basically the cutscenes and waiting and stuff.
だがみんなの力を合わせて戦えばきっと勝てる。今までだってそうしてきただろう。
そうだな。オイラたちにはどんな相手だろうがやれるはずだ。
俺の生き方は間違っていなかったと今はそう思える。
Right, solo leveling Overdrive had like gacha game drop rates were something you paid real money for. I killed some of those bosses like dozens of times and got nothing. I was kind of over it at that point. You don't have enough content to warrant the bad drop rates. It was the same problem as the vanilla version of this game. There was not enough content, and there wasn't any more content coming to warrant having it be so grindy. You can't just, like, take gacha game grinding and put it into a premium game. You just can't do that. If you want it to be a paid game, a premium game, then you need to make the grind reasonable. If you're gonna make it like a gacha game, then the game doesn't function as far as I'm concerned. There's a reason why gacha games are like that. Specifically because there's more content coming. They need to keep you invested. That was what was weird about this game. It really only had like a couple months of support and like maybe a handful of patches, but then the grind was just completely soul-crushing. And the stuff you were grinding for wasn't particularly interesting either. I mean, it was all just different flavors of more damage, which is definitely the kind of stuff I'll just cheat to see all the content in. I mean, you guys know how many hours I fought Ren Hayabusa in Neo 2, and I streamed like almost all of them. I fought that boss for like probably 12 hours to get those drops. You wanna know why I did that? Because it gave me an Azuna drop. It gave me new moves. That's exciting. What's not exciting is doing it for like 20% more damage. That doesn't interest me. It never has. You know, if the Neo 3 DLC drops in a few months and they have, like, more moves and you gotta fight a difficult boss, I'll do it. I'll definitely do it. I'll do it completely legit. But if it's just 5% more damage, no, I'm out of there, man. That's the problem both this and solo leveling Overdrive have, is just the chase items are not interesting, they're boring. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, the drop rates were too low. I'm not gonna sound like I'm glazing it, but the drop rates were too low. But it was an interesting chase item, right? It wasn't just more damage. I really don't like stuff like that. It really doesn't keep me playing.
秘密のルートで武器の限界を超えた強化が可能です。
Yeah, I think the Team Ninja guys understand what's actually fun to grind for. They make it like actual game-changing stuff. You know, you're getting like new game-changing passives or like whole new moves. You know, armor that's build-defining. A lot of these other modern ARPGs don't even come close. It really is just you're grinding for 10% more damage. You know, like, nah, I'm not about that, man. Hard pass. And give me something actually interesting to grind for. But that's a very hard thing to find, as we all know. These days, it's mostly crit rate and crit damage. Is like the most interesting thing that you can get. Which does make you stronger, but it's not really interesting. You're just killing things faster. There isn't like any kind of interesting element to it at all. Alright, do I feel like doing anything else? Maybe I'll take a break. Yeah, I know you did the grind too, so you understand. You understand my grievances with these modern ARPGs and just having the most boring-ass loot. Somehow, despite all these games basically going from, taking heavy inspiration from, like, Diablo 2, they don't really understand the concept of an interesting chase item. You could make crazy builds, and it was very exciting to get those items, even if the drop rate was really bad. It was worth it because those items were actually interesting. But the Relink and Solo Overdrive, definitely the items were just very boring. I'm not gonna fight the same boss like 400 times to do 10% more damage. And the only thing that really does is just make me kill the boss 10% faster. It doesn't, like, actually change the way that I play. That's kind of one of the reasons why I play a lot more roguelikes and action RPGs these days, because the roguelikes kind of understand you need to keep it interesting with stuff that actually changes how you play, and not just, you know, damage in different flavors. Yeah, it does feel like the DLC was actually rushed. I know they said that they were working on it for a long time, but it's very easy to tell that, like, maybe they got told to put it out sooner than later, because, I mean, you fight Bahamut, like, 3 times. How many times do you need to recycle that boss? I mean, it already wasn't fun the first time. What do you mean you recycled him 2 more times and made him more annoying, and there's more waiting? And, like, the fact that there's more waiting is not even necessarily tied to what they changed to the boss. It's just the stat bloat is what causes that. The stat bloat makes it so that he can run away and fly away more. So it adds, like, minutes. Especially if you don't have, like, a super optimized, high-skilled party. It felt like at the beginning of the DLC there was a lot of new stuff, and then, like, that kind of just went away after a while. There's only a couple new bosses, and they all get recycled multiple times. It felt like they wanted it to be, like, a certain length to justify being $30, but it would have been a lot better if all the recycling was just removed. So have, like, don't recycle those bosses again, but then instead, you know, only use them once, and then just have, like, less bosses overall. I think that would have been a lot better. I mean, your enjoyment of Relink is going to depend on a couple things. Do you like grinding for stat boosts? do you like playing for numbers? I mean, the game is fine for that. There's nothing wrong with it for that, but if you're looking for more interesting stuff, and you also don't like boss fights where a lot of it is just waiting, and that just kind of amplifies your frustration with the game because of how much stuff you can't skip, then yeah, the game is not gonna... It's not gonna keep you invested for very long. But if those things don't bother you, and for plenty of people that didn't, you can get hundreds of hours out of it, so it's a good game. But the problems it has just are too much for me to want to put, like, 400 hours into that. That's why I just cheated past all of it. Yeah, playing the characters is fun. Grinding for things is not. The bosses are a real pain in the ass to fight. The drop rates are kind of low. And then also, you know, the things that you're grinding for aren't really interesting. They really are just like damage on Tuesday stuff. That's what they call it in the Blizzard community. Damage on Tuesdays. You get more damage if you have high health. You get more damage if you have low health. You get more damage but you can't be healed. You get more damage if you're, you know, under a status effect or something. It's all just flavors of the same thing. It's just the same thing. It's damage on Tuesdays. You meet these conditions, you do more damage. Which I just find boring to have that be like the only thing to grind for. I guess it just depends on what you're looking for. Plenty of people like that. I mean, that's why, like, World of Warcraft and FF14 and, you know, Diablo are popular. That's a lot of playing for numbers as well, but...
Not so fast!
You know, I saw somebody on the Relink forum say that the game was too easy because you could cancel out of stuff frame 1. And everybody was tearing into that guy. I'm like, dude, if this game was slow and clunky like a Souls game, it would be unplayable. Anybody who's played that game to end game legit with no cheats would tell you the fact that you can, you know, dodge offset and you have like frame 1 cancels does not make the game easier. The game is balanced around that. It's still difficult with it. But yeah, doing all that for more damage, I don't blame you for wanting to hop boss. I think that's a pretty grounded take. People have let Souls games fry their brain. They think that the only way that you can make a action game challenging is by making the character unresponsive. I'm like, well, you need to play Relink. Let's see you do those bosses on the first try without taking damage. Despite the fact that you can frame 1 cancel. You could cancel everything frame 1. Does that make the game easy? No, it definitely doesn't. You can wipe just as much. Well, the bosses get more manageable if you have a good party, but that requires either making your own party or having people to play it with. The game actually asks a lot out of you, so playing with pugs is not very fun. It's kind of just a different style of gacha pulls. You saw that before I started using the cheats, right? I had those couple parties where we wiped like extremely quickly, and then I had those couple of parties where everybody was playing pretty well, and none of us were playing perfect. We all got downed at least once, but the boss went down quick. Everybody was following their role properly and everything. But that's also kind of the weakness of the game, is playing with the AI takes way longer, and you have to build them in a specific way to clear things. And they are very smart. They're definitely smarter than, like, the average Tales game. Pretty much any of the Tales games, actually. Except maybe, like, Vanilla Innocence, which nobody played. But the game is also asking a lot more out of you than those games. So you have to build the party. And at least before the expansion, it was incredibly timely to do that. It took, like, so much time to do it. It really was just a lot more fun if you had people to play it with, and you could skip that part. But it asks a lot out of you. It doesn't hold your hand. You're given a very capable character, but the game is expecting you to use it properly. So playing with randoms is just going to be like hopping on League or Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, where sometimes it's going to be very fun, and then most of the time it's just going to be aggravating. It's definitely a game that's enhanced with having people to play it with, whether they're IRL or nearby, or they're like internet friends or people that you know that live far away. It's a lot more fun that way. Playing with pugs, especially with the increased difficulty in the expansion, is asking for it. You're just going to get pissed off. Those boss fights are a little bit too long to have them do some run-ending attack right at the end. They're a little bit too long for that, if you ask me. I think they should be like no more than 5 minutes. There's a lot of minor things they could do in a sequel to Relink that would make the game a lot less frustrating. It's just a matter of if they'll actually do them, and given how much they doubled down on those things in the expansion, I'm not sure if that will happen. The expansion fixes the grind. It makes it so actually playing the game feels rewarding instead of doing auto AFK farming and, you know, praying for something to drop. It fixes all those problems. But a lot of the other problems with the game, like all the interruptions in the boss fights and how much health they have, you know, the game not being very fun to play with people who have a lower skill level than you, none of those things were fixed at all. They pretty much doubled down on it because, like, the DLC, despite how much stronger you get, the game doesn't really get much easier. Now, if you have friends that are up to the challenge, you know, if you have friends that run, you know, Monster Hunter and stuff, then you probably like it. But I think the average person doesn't have that, so it's going to be playing with pugs.
Let's get airborne. Riding high.
I mean, like I said, I am getting older myself. I just value the challenge being from the game actually being hard and not wasting my time. And Relink is a little bit too much of the latter. If an 8-minute boss fight has like 3 minutes of cutscenes and parts where I can't attack the boss, that's the kind of stuff that I don't want to do and I don't want to grind out. If it's like a Neo boss where they have a bunch of BS themselves, but you can kill them as fast as they kill you, I'm fine with that. And I've done that multiple times. I mean, I put up that video of me demolishing those bosses on Neo 3. They went down in seconds. They can kill me in seconds. I prefer that kind of balance over they're an HP sponge, but if they tap you on the shoulder, you die. And then they do all these big, unskippable cutscene attacks where you're just waiting. And that kind of stuff is immensely frustrating. Compared to, like, the average Souls boss, where it's like, you know, you make the right reads and they're dead quick. You're not sitting there waiting. But, it's hard to find games like that. A lot of times it really is just stat bloat or time-wasting stuff where they turn invincible. And I don't have patience for that. I mean, I pretty much never had patience for that stuff. I can't blame getting older. I don't think I've ever once liked that in decades of gaming. That stuff got me tilted as much when I was a teenager as it does now. It hasn't changed at all. But unfortunately, most action games kind of tend to rely on stuff like that to make it harder. Well, it's hard to find stuff like Souls. That's part of the reason why Souls-likes are popular. The good ones are, like, balanced in a way. Like, yeah, you know, you make a mistake, they'll kill you quickly. But, you know, you can do it to them, too. And it's satisfying when it kind of just ends up like, well, you have to hit them like 5,000 times and they touch you twice and you die. That's not fun. Alright. I think I want to go ahead and hop on Dragon Sword for a little bit. Make a little bit more progress in the story for that. I'll probably come back in a little bit. I'll do some Hell Clock, and then PGR. Maybe another Versus Rising Chaos mod. What's that mod called again? Let me see. Oh, Decay. Yeah, I'll probably do another run of that in a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and take a break. Play some Dragon Sword, and I can't stream that yet. So sorry. Here. You guys want to support me. It's much needed right now. Your boy's got like 30 bucks right now. There's also exclusive stuff on the Patreon. I have completely upgraded the Patreon. There's new tiers. There's exclusive content on there. You want to help me make this more sustainable so I don't have to put open-mouth thumbnails and talk about whatever somebody did in the Wuthering Waves community every day. You want clickbait-free content. Those are the best ways to support me, and I really need it right now. A lot of the stress has been poverty-related, and getting out of that is not easy, as you all know. So if you want to support me, there you go. I'll probably come back for PGR reset, and then I'll probably do some Hell Clock, because I haven't put up any videos of that yet, and I was given a key, and then maybe some other stuff as well. I got that King Static update to check out, too. I'll see you guys later.